Hey, everybody.
Hey.
And welcome to this very special edition of the Rooster Teeth podcast brought to you by... Today, we have a very special guest on the podcast.
It's Burnie.
It's Mr. Gavin Free.
Oh,
How are you
doing? World famous filmmaker right here.
Well,
So-
in addition, this is Burnie, and in addition to Mr. Gavin Free and Miss Barbara Dunkelman,
Hello.
we have our Austin neighbor and filmmaking legend, Mr. Robert Rodriguez.
Hello there.
How's it going, Robert?
Excellent, man.
So, I don't think a lot of people know this, but you were actually in this building before we were, in Stage 5. You guys had a production going on here.
We're shooting Dusk Till Dawn, actually both seasons, season 1 and 2. A lot of killings happened right here. A lot
Right
of
here in the
vampire
spot
attacks.
we're all sitting.
Is that why there was so much blood on top of some of
You
our
slip
offices
when you
we
walk
moved
in here.
Yeah, so the offices that we have for live action and for the tech office, and I think your office too,
Yep.
Barb, they were motel sets.
Yeah, it was an interior motel set that we built, and we just left them up, and you guys
Like
were
the
very
wood
smart.
paneling.
Yeah, with the nice paneling.
There was
We like
blood
to
on our
reuse
roof.
everything here in Austin.
We did,
Like
we were
Roger
like-
Corman just put the sets aside, reuse them, and you guys used them to great effect to make these amazing offices. I was really
I wouldn't
pleased
call
with
them
that.
amazing.
Hey, listen, he says it's amazing.
They're amazing considering what they were.
But also, I mean, we've talked about this on the podcast before. Matt and I, who, we started this company in a spare bedroom in Buda back in 2003. But even before that, we got involved in feature filmmaking in the independent film world of the 90s, which is really, the tone of that was set by you and Tarantino and Kevin Smith, people like that. And you were a particular inspiration for us because you were a couple years ahead of us at UT,
yeah.
and you made El Mariachi for $7,000
Yeah, on a summer break while I was at UT.
down in Mexico.
Yeah, on film.
My favorite part of that story too is how you funded. How did you get that $7,000?
Well, you were here at that time. Then you remember that place called Pharmaco.
I do.
That's how most of us paid for college. It was a place where you would go do medical testing for money. Usually pay off like a credit card bill or something. You'd make like $500 in a weekend. Or the one I did was $3,000 over a period of 2 weeks. But no, it was a month. It was a whole month in there. But I wrote the script while I was in there, and some of the guys that were near me, it kind of looked like they could be bad guys. I cast them in the movie, and I made $3,000 and $3,500 in there.
And you used that. And I read just recently that the drug that you were testing turned out to be Lipitor.
It was Lipitor. Yeah, it was a cholesterol lowering drug. Where some of the other groups that are in there are like on like low fat diets. We got to eat bacon and all that. We had the best diet, and they were there with their lettuce. And we had a good deal.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, I did that as well, but I did just get my wisdom teeth removed because I couldn't afford it. So they did a test where they were not using any kind of anesthetic for removing wisdom teeth. Like, they didn't give you anything like any opiates afterwards. They just gave me ibuprofen.
You say that like it's such a casual thing. Like, I had the wisdom teeth out, no anesthetic. That must have killed.
Yeah.
Like, wasn't it like the worst pain of your life?
They still gave me like a shot in the mouth, but they didn't like knock me out.
So they numbed your gums,
Yes,
essentially.
they didn't give me anesthesia. They didn't completely knock me out. But of course they numbed. Not like, it's not like a movie, like a western where they're decking me in the face.
You made it sound like they were just pulling your teeth out and just like jamming Advil in the holes.
It's like a scene in one of Robert's movies. Gavin and I had a really fun time. You invited us over to Troublemaker Studios, which is right next door. It's an awesome, cool complex.
We got to see some cool stuff.
Yeah, we did. We got to
place.
see some really cool stuff. In fact, one of the things we got to see is I'm kind of on the podcast, kind of known a little bit for wearing different socks, and one of my favorite brand of socks is Happy Socks.
Yeah.
And it turned out like you showed us this thing that you were doing, and you did it for Happy Socks.
Yeah, I made a short film for them for the internet. They asked me to do something, be creative with socks, and you would get to design socks. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And what I did was I timed it to when we were shooting Dusk Till Dawn. So it's online now. They just released it. And it's cool. It ended up being a 6-minute film instead of a 2-minute film because we got ambitious. And it's badass. I mean, it's action, it's horror, and it's shot all in my parking lot. But since we had the access of the crew and the cast from Dusk Till Dawn, there's cool stunts and things we never could have afforded with a commercial. And they let me design a pair of socks.
Oh, my God.
So I've got a set of Robert Rodriguez vampire socks that got released for Halloween.
You're leaving those
So it's
here, right?
available. This
Yeah, I
is
was
for you
gonna
guys.
say.
All right.
There's 3 pairs, so I mean,
I'm going to use them as a
one for
weapon,
each of
just
you.
like in the...
Yeah, and you'll see how she uses them as a weapon. But I like really, sometimes, attaching with brands and doing something really creative with the brand to make you feel good about the brand. But ultimately, it's about entertainment. So when you watch it, it's just a cool little film. And I love short film formats. It's just something where you can show someone and they immediately want to watch it again because it's fun.
Yeah, it's crazy to think how much has changed too since you started. I mean, El Mariachi, was that shot on 16?
16 millimeter.
So it's like now it's like the camera that you carry around in your pocket is a better camera than you were probably scrapping to get back in those days.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people if I shot the same movie today, it would probably be like a $700 movie, not a $7,000. Most of that budget majority of the budget went to film, buying the film, processing it, transferring it to video. So yeah, you could shoot the same movie for nothing today.
How many crew were on that?
I was the whole crew.
You were
I was
one-man
literally
crew.
the sound guy. I was the camera guy. I was the lighting guy. Because
Director.
I didn't know if I could sell it, so I didn't want to spend more. It was already a lot costing years to do it, and I knew kind of what I could do just by myself.
So is it hard going from one-man crew to then giving all those responsibilities to other people? Or is it just a load off your mind?
Well, that's why I still do a lot of jobs myself. I actually ended up enjoying those. So I still write, produce, direct, edit, operate the camera, I do the sound mix, I do the score. I mean, I still do a lot of those jobs because I discovered that on the first one, that it was just so fun. And now I think it's a lot more relatable to people today. I was on that new age where I was coming in, I learned on video, learned on digital, and then I shot film. And I applied what I learned on digital to film, which was just do it yourself. You know, so many people today now shoot that way because they shoot digital. But that was unheard of in the film world to do it that way. You always needed like 200 people.
I'm just imagining you as like one of those one-person bands with like the camera in one, the boom in the other, and just like all this equipment attached to you while you're filming this movie.
Well, I still have to shoot that way. I mean, the Happy Socks was done that way. I mean, I was literally doing all the jobs because you move so fast and it's so fun. And next year, I'm going to do another movie for $7,000. It's the 25th anniversary. Only this time we'll have a documentary crew filming it. And they'll have more money, more crew than me. But it's to show how you would do it today,
Right.
and make a feature film out of it.
Yeah, I remember seeing promotional stills. I think it was probably Desperado, and you were in a Steadicam rig. And it's
Yeah.
like, here's a director who's
That's right,
running-
Outward Steadicam.
Yeah, running a full Steadicam rig. And I just read. You asked a question like who was on the crew. His autobiography that I read was Rebel Without a Crew,
Yeah.
and that's the whole point of it. It's
Yeah.
and I just read Elon Musk's autobiography, or not autobiography, but his biography as well. And they talk about him in that, how he'll do that. He'll do just about any job in the company, which is kind of threatening to a lot of those engineers, but he'll do their job and do it better than they will because he can just absorb so much information.
Yeah, and sometimes it's more of a subjective thing. It's not really that you're better than them, but you know the material better than they do. I mean, you will just have a very particular eye towards it because it's so subjective. And then also, I couldn't afford to hire anybody, so I just did them all myself.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think too. It's like you wouldn't even need to go through the Pharmaco thing today because you would just do crowdfunding probably and get.
Yeah, you do crowdfunding, or if you really wanted to just pay for it yourself, you didn't have to spend anything. So I think what I'm going to show next year when I do it is show that sometimes limitations are good. Like you've only got 7 props, and you've got to make a feature out of this and that. Really by limiting yourself, it's almost more freeing because when you can do anything, the big question becomes, well, what do we even do? Now we can do anything.
Wow.
But if you limit yourself and it's almost like within those walls, almost like the freedom of limitations happens. Mm-hmm. You can almost blow up within those confines, and that's what's really fun about it.
That's amazing to hear you say that because that's exactly what I would talk about with our animator, Monty Ohm, who created Ruby, is, with Red versus Blue, we were limited to what was in that world. And that was it. It's like, how do you make a Jeep funny? How do you make a skull funny? And it's like, you just have to because it's all you have.
You have to, and you actually just focus on that, and you come up with a solution because you're limiting your focus.
Yeah. But you're working on things now that are, huge. It's like you're running an entire network. You're running the El Rey network now.
Yeah, but it's a matter of scale, not technique. It's the same technique, but you're just doing it. You're only really just scaling up. You really, like you have Rooster Teeth. It's like you create a beast, and then you got to feed the beast, or the beast consumes you. And by creating for that beast, you actually come up with things that you never would have done otherwise, and you're really proud of. Like our network, we had to fill it. I got a network. I own a network, but it's empty until you fill it. So we had to fill it with From Dusk Till Dawn. I had to come up with a show called The Director's Chair. I had to go, Lucha Underground, and you just start filling it up, and then you're so proud of these shows and so proud of the content, just like as proud as you all are anything that you've come up with. It was because you had this destination that you had to fill. So I would suggest to anybody who wants to go create a beast first, then feed the beast.
There you go.
Similar in
service it.
just creating motivation for yourself with like the crowdfunding for Laser Team. Yeah, a lot of that meant now we have to make the movie.
Yeah, you get
And it was
pot
like,
committed, right? You're
yeah.
like, I'm all in.
We have the money
Yeah,
now,
we have to go do it now.
Yeah,
and people
reputation's
are
on
waiting
the line.
for it, so let's go make it.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have that kind of heavy leverage on yourself otherwise. Not
Right.
to that point. Not to
Otherwise,
that
you can
degree.
just sit there and noodle on stuff
Yeah,
a
you'll
little bit
noodle on
longer.
it forever, and you'll never get it out.
Yeah.
You have to give yourself. We have air dates. We have to deliver a certain amount, and so you have to come up with stuff, and you do, and then you're always surprised when you look back and go, look at all this stuff we made this year.
And this was the first time you'd ever worked in TV as a whole, right?
Yeah. I'd wanted to get into TV, but the process was always so difficult. To get a show on the air, on a network. It seemed like everybody was trying to do that. Whenever there's so much competition, you just got to think bigger. Have your own network, have your own destination for people to go. There's very few people competing at that level.
Yeah.
So then you end up with a network, and then you go and you fill it up with whatever you want, which is exciting. The El Rey network it's kind of like Comic-Con TV. I mean, it's just got everything cool that you could possibly put on a network, and you license old movies and series that you love, and curate them, and then you fill the rest of it with original programming. So that's how you get a 24/7 network. That quick is just, what do I love? And let's just put that on the network and make it authentic.
And I love Director's Chair. It's where Robert sits down and interviews another director, and he's had like Quentin Tarantino on there. He's had Francis Ford Coppola, John Carpenter,
Michael Mann, George Miller from Fury Road.
Hopefully Matt Hullum someday.
And it's great. And what's cool is, we interview for like 3 hours, and then I cut it down to 45 minutes. So you get only just the best of tons of information, like master class. I learned so much. Master classes in filmmaking. And I have one that the most proud of is been friends with Stallone for a long time, because people kind of forget that he writes, directs, edits, comes up with these characters.
He won Best
really
Picture
love.
versus Star Wars with Rocky.
And he's the best. It's a really inspiring. Anybody who watches it, you're going to feel like you can go climb a mountain afterwards. It's really cool. That comes out November 15th.
November 15th, and it'll be on El Rey.
Yeah.
So,
but then also, any of our shows are also available, digital downloads like iTunes and Amazon, all that, the next day.
Okay. And the El Rey Network, you were telling me before this that it's in 40 million homes.
We're in 40 million homes now. Wow. We're like one of the fastest growing networks, independent networks. And most people probably don't even realize they already have us. So just go check your dial. You're on Comcast, Time Warner, DirecTV, Sling TV, a bunch of different DirecTV. Just about all the carriers have us. And I'm sure like 35 million of them don't know they already have us.
Yeah, wow. And if you don't have it at your cable, or if you're not listening even from within the United States, you can always get it off iTunes or some other places as well. Yeah. It's available digital online. So I want to talk a little bit about Dusk. So how did you settle on Dusk Till Dawn as being the thing that you wanted to bring to a TV series?
Well, most new networks don't even have new programs for the first 5, sometimes 10, sometimes, like in the case of AMC, 20 years.
Right.
So it was really unusual to have a new network and have programming. But I thought that's what really differentiates us, that we're creators. Let's have original programming right off the bat. First year, and let's even have a premiere show. So to choose a sort of premiere show that would have a sizable budget that would really compete with other networks, I thought, Dusk Till Dawn is just like a no-brainer. People still love that movie. Quentin and I get hassled. And everywhere we go, people go, Dusk Till Dawn, we love Dusk Till Dawn. And they love Dusk Till Dawn. Very enduring, cult classic film. So, I thought that had such a Mesoamerican feel. It very, very much fit the idea of the network itself. I thought that would be cool to continue, and I had added some mythology to the movie that I didn't really explore. The whole temple and all that was added to the script. So I thought, let's go deep into that and really figure out how to expand those characters and expand that world. So all of season 1 was an expansion of Quentin's original script, retold in a way that would set it up for future seasons. And now we're at the season finale tomorrow for the second season.
Yeah, so that's tomorrow night.
I directed that one.
It'll be Tuesday night, and it's at 9 p.m. Eastern. You directed this one.
Yeah, I directed the first one of this season and the finale, which is a blowout. It's like a lot of the Dusk Till Dawn magic from the film is in this one. There's even a 7-minute sequence of my band playing a song as a slaughter happens, and they're almost like scoring it for 7 minutes straight. It's just this kind of thing. I don't think we could have even pulled off in the film, but it's just when you got a crew and people that worked on it now in our second season and all firing in all cylinders, it's the kind of thing you don't even see in television or actually even in features. It's really choreographed in a way that's pretty exciting, that I'm most proud of that episode.
Yeah, we worked on our movie Laser Team. We worked with some people that you've worked with before. We worked with a makeup artist named Jenny Lynn.
Oh yeah, Jenny Lynn.
Yeah, and we saw her stuff, and she had these big tubs.
Oh, check her out in the Happy Socks. She gets.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's in that as well.
She gets
She's in the short, and she gets killed.
She's
nice,
on it.
Jenny Lynn.
I was really
so
sad to
sweet.
see Jenny Lynn die.
She barely gets one line out, and then she's dead.
Well, more than usually makeup artist gets. Usually we get very few lines. But yeah, she had these tubs, and we're like, "What is that?" She goes, "Oh, that's for when I work on Dusk. That's for all my blood." Robert always wants
Fill up the bucket.
more blood.
All my blood.
So that's why there's blood in your office now,
Yeah,
Barb.
there's bloodstains on our ceilings in the office, which I've always wondered
kinda gets
about, but
around.
now that explains
gets
it.
around.
So the finale for season 2 is tomorrow, but you guys also just announced that season 3 has been greenlighted for.
It's one of those things where, it's always kind of difficult to get out of a network. Are we going to be greenlit for another season. But at El Rey, it's pretty much, I go, Robert, what do you think? Should we renew for another season? And then I go sit in that seat. And I go, yeah, I think that would be really good.
You should do that. You should do that with director's chair as well. You should just split screen yourself in the other chair and just have
I was
a big
thinking
interview with
somebody
yourself.
else told me that. They said you should interview yourself. I thought that would be kind of fun. So if I'm dressed like this as the interviewer, and then the cowboy hat and the full,
Or
as
just,
the
turn your hat
director,
around.
and I just talk really.
One's Bob, one's Robert.
Or just gather the whole staff, walk out of the room and go, sorry, it's a no. The conversation really went south really quickly. So if you guys are shooting season 3 pretty soon, I just want to point out, we're not that far away from you. If you ever need like victims or vampires.
Oh, I've already been, seeing everybody around here has been working long hours. They look like vampires.
Yeah,
and I'm going,
it's
this
pretty
guy
late.
Wow.
won't even need any makeup. We'll just go right in.
Or super slow-mo.
Yeah, super slow-mo
Got that
stuff.
right here.
Or if you need
Super
a
slow-mo
woman to
kills.
scream.
Well, always need
That's
you.
me, by the way.
You'd be
Yeah,
kicking
I was going
ass.
to point at Burnie, but stole my joke.
Sorry, bud. So you're going to be shooting that, I assume, fairly soon. You'll be shooting. You're
Yeah, we'll
writing
start
now?
the writing room, and then sometime next year we'll be shooting that. But right around here, we'll be right around here.
I'd heard. Is it hard to balance this with the other projects as well? Because I read. I don't know if it's a rumor, but I read a report that you're going to be working with James Cameron on Battle Angel Alita.
Battle Angel. Yeah, I've been talking with Jim for years and years and years. I've known him about 18 years or more, and we're always trying to find something to do together. So we're in talks to do a project called Battle Angel. Can't say more than that, but no, it's totally exciting. He's the master.
Yeah.
If nothing else, I'll get a really great, maybe 3-parter director's chair out of that.
You think James Cameron will be able to talk about movie making for a little while? I bet.
Whenever we get together, we talk hours and hours go by just talking about this stuff. And I wish I had captured it. So I'm definitely when I record the definitive version of that's kind of what the director's chair is actually. I've had so many great conversations with these filmmakers over the years. I'm always like, I wish somebody was taping this because they say such amazing things that I know filmmakers would be blown away by, and really I get it super inspired by them. And this has been a chance for me to go recreate some of those conversations, and I'm so happy. I always get the same energy and the same stories that I've known for over the years. So that's what I'm most looking forward to, is going back, getting all these guys I've had talks with and recording it for people to see.
Yeah, well, that's going to be great. The if you do it with James Cameron, though, he'll probably make you interview him like on a submarine at the bottom of the ocean or something like that. One of his big adventure excursions. I also remember that Guillermo del Toro was somebody you interviewed in Director's Chair. It's a fantastic one.
Yeah, that's a really good one too.
Yeah. Okay, well, the Dusk Till Dawn season finale for season 2.
Check it out.
Tuesday night.
It is
on
awesome.
El Rey Network. Robert, I just want to say, if you've got this whole network, if you ever need shows, I know a place that has a bunch of different shows.
I was thinking about it. We should talk about that because we do need programming, and you guys make really terrific programming. I was a fan of you guys back when you were back in Buda.
Oh, no, your son
So,
Rocket's a fan, too.
My son Rocket, of course, loves
Oh, wow.
Red versus Blue. That was the best when your kids come up and go, have you ever heard of Red versus Blue? And I'm like, oh, man, way before you never knew about it, my son.
Such a
I knew
hipster.
about
You don't
Red
know
versus
anything, I
Blue.
know. Well, listen, I want to thank our guest and our neighbor, Mr. Robert Rodriguez. Thank you for everything you've done for the Austin film scene. Thank you for all the wonderful films you've
Same
made.
to you guys.
And it's great to have you as a neighbor. Thanks for all
sir.
the inspiration that you've given us as well. And let's leave them with a clip from Dusk Till Dawn Season 2. How about we show the trailer for that?
At Rodriguez.
Something. I am simply here for what is mine.
Something's coming. I can feel it.
Stick a fork in them. They're done.
Or they're just getting started.
Every lawman's still out there looking for the geckos.
If we are gonna fight this war, we have to let go of who we were to become who we are.
You're the showgirl who thinks she's gonna take down an empire.
No. I'm just gonna kill the Emperor.
You and your brother, you stay separated. You go around burning bridges, you're gonna end up all alone on an island.
I didn't know what you were capable of.
This is my empire of blood.
You look good, my friend. Time to regulate.
Things get busy.
Send him to hell, baby.
That whole thing. That was new.
Do it.
I will put on the socks if you don't put on the
Welcome
socks.
back.
Hello.
Welcome back, everybody. So, Mr. Robert Rodriguez, if you just tuning in, joined us for the first part of the podcast. We talked to him about El Mariachi, everything from El Mariachi all the way to the new network that he's running, El Rey.
And happy socks.
And happy, give me those. I saw them go by and I was like, I gotta get a pair of these things. So I'm gonna swap them out right now.
Can I have the ones with the teeth?
I'll do it during when we play another video clip.
You don't want your foot on the camera?
Oh, so they're all different designs.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
You get these by default.
Here, let me do a swap. We see, you got to mix and match. That's how this works because they color match, but then they're different.
I think someone should
listen,
take a plate of this set without him there and cut that into when he was here, so it just looks like we're talking to an empty chair.
You mean right now? Cut it in earlier?
But with his voice
Yeah,
coming
like put it
through
earlier,
still?
yeah.
Well, listen, I just want to say, so Robert's not here anymore, but if you want to find out more about what Robert Rodriguez is up to and what he's doing, you can always follow him on Twitter at Rodriguez. Somehow he got the name
How did
Rodriguez.
he get that
He said
handle?
nobody else had it when he joined Twitter.
That's bullshit.
I find it suspect,
Yeah.
personally.
I don't know how he did that.
Yeah, but that was, like I said during the interview too, is that he was a huge inspiration to me and Matt. Me in particular. Actually, Matt's first job out of school was working for Robert on the faculty.
Well, when we went to Troublemaker, we saw Matt in one of the pictures on the wall from like a big crew photo. And Matt's little face.
Wouldn't it be cool if Matt was interviewed on that show, the director's chair?
Yeah, it would be.
Full circle.
Full circle.
Real full circle.
Well, it said we went to the way we interviewed him here.
Yeah.
That's the way this worked out. So, hey, guys, what's up?
So,
No Gus today.
We got no Gus.
I like how they changed
We're
the
going
shot.
Gusless. Oh, look at this. They have a three-person shot.
Yeah.
I've never seen that
looks,
before.
that looks offset. Look at that. That is not symmetrical.
That
at
looks
all.
like a great,
great.
shot, personally.
Looks great. It takes
Anything
two of you to
without
balance
Gus.
me out.
So I want to run this
I look
headline.
huge compared to you guys.
Well, you're in front. I saw the most amazing headline, and I wrote it down, and I want to see what you take from this headline. I want
Go
to see
ahead.
if you understand it. You ready?
Let me catch my breath. Okay, go.
All you have to do is tell me what the story is about.
Wait, is this a competition between Burnie and I?
It's about James Cameron and a submarine.
Yeah, you can buzz in, maybe. Okay, you ready? Man fails paternity test because the father of his son is his unborn brother.
Oh, I can tell exactly what this is. I just got it totally figured out.
But fails. What?
He failed the paternity test, meaning his unborn brother was the
Wait.
was the father.
Was the dad?
So here's what it is. The guy was a twin in the womb. The twin died. Then it became what they call a parasitic twin, which is actually the opposite, where the living twin takes over and embeds the dead twin in it somewhere. And I'm pointing to my arm. I'll tell you this in a second. But then they took a genetic test for the guy, but he has, at different places in his body, he has different genetics.
Yeah.
Is there a
So where
twin
was-
living in his penis?
Was in his penis.
So apparently the genes, the DNA in his sperm was completely different to the DNA or genes in his saliva. So he failed his own paternity test.
So-
because his unborn twins' genes were passed on to his child in the majority.
He would make a killing on Maury.
Chimera.
Or Maury.
What?
What's that
Just
show?
knocking chicks
You
up?
are not the father. Every time.
Well, let me ask you this question, Gavin. Here's
Yeah.
a fundamental philosophical question for you. If you have different DNA in your saliva and in your testicles, which is your DNA? Just answer gut question.
Testicles.
Yeah, right?
I am my testicles.
So, like, if they somehow took a sample of DNA from your brain and that was different in your testicles, you're still going with testicles?
Could you like pull DNA from a brain
No,
hole?
but let's assume you can. I don't even know if you could or not.
Brain hole.
They tend not to.
I would say brain outranks testicles, but testicles outrank mouth.
I want to make a chart of your ranking system.
Which part of you is you?
Where does navel fall?
I mean, this is going to
in
be
there?
a chart that someone
like
made.
navel fluff?
No, just navel, just your navel. Like, say they scrape it out of there.
I would say
Like,
that's last.
dead last, right?
I'd say
Although, that's where your umbilical cord
We're just
is
ranking
connected
body
to.
parts.
I'd
at
say
this point.
pinky is the lowest. Pinky finger.
Why pinky? Why not thumb?
So I wonder if that's ever happened in a crime where they're like some awful bastard killed someone,
Get that pinky DNA.
but the DNA didn't match because they took it from a different part of it.
No, that's actually, I read a story about that just the other day where there was some kind of crime. I want to say it was a robbery, though, and it wasn't like a murder or something like that. and they had genetic, DNA proof that it was one of these two twins. And this one twin was like a bad dude and this twin wasn't. But because the DNA was the only evidence they had, they couldn't prove definitively which one of them committed the crime. So he was found innocent.
No way.
Because just having a twin got this guy off.
Wow.
So is that better than just...
Barbara, that was not sexual getting off. Come on.
Animal.
Barbara immediately started laughing about that.
So is it okay that they let them
tickled me.
both free? Why not
We,
just-
by the way, I want to say we kept it really professional while Robert was here, and I appreciate both of you for that.
I tried. There were some parts where I wanted to say something, but I was just like,
I wanted to sneeze the entire time and I didn't.
This chair feels empty. Why don't you let's get somebody up here. John, come here and talk to us.
Rizo.
do you
So-
think that
Rise
while
up,
talking
Rise
to
Mongala.
Robert Rodriguez, farting during that time would have been like the most
Inappropriate,
inappropriate, embarrassing time to
I
fart
don't think so.
ever?
I think his sense of humor runs pretty wide. I mean, it's like some of the stuff in Spy Kids is
I love
know.
Spy Kids.
pretty raucous, And then of course, Gavin. He showed Gavin and I this. I think it's from a movie he released. It was from Machete, that one clip that he put together with the cutting off the heads.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
It's just that scene was lunacy,
Yeah.
And he's talking about chucking heads, so it's realistic. Hey, Jon Risinger.
Hi, John.
Hey,
How you doing? Is he in the shot?
Burnie
Do we have a
Burns.
shot with John in it?
He looks
Hey.
flashy as hell today. He walked
no,
into
that
the
wasn't
Monday...
the word you used earlier.
I called him a flashy git.
There you
Because
go.
he came in like that,
What's a
wearing
git?
wearing
I
sunglasses.
don't know, me right here.
He was wearing sunglasses, head up, and like just strutting. It's like, I'm Jon Risinger.
I don't know.
I'm blazered up with sun specs.
I don't know if
busted
I've ever
into the room.
strut in my life, but thank you.
You were
for-
strutting hard.
I was strutting hard.
I said that you looked dapper.
Dapper.
That's what I said.
Thank you, Gavin.
So,
welcome.
John,
welcome.
talk to me about this because you're Mr. Comics.
I am Mr. Comics.
They're Mr.
So I read
Risinger.
about this project that Cameron and Rodriguez are going to work on called Battle Angel Alita, and I
Yeah.
hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's a manga.
Did I say manga? You don't say
Manga?
manga?
Manga.
A rise monger.
Oh, God damn it.
Hey!
Cheers me.
Barbara was just hanging there. Yeah, it's a manga from like the 90s.
Look at Robert's IMDb. Look at this.
Why'd you have it
Screw you,
printed?
John.
Yeah.
You have a laptop and you're reading it off paper?
I had to print because I wanted to have the notes handy.
You can literally pull it up on your phone right now.
You've literally got a website printed on top of a screen that displays the website.
Here it is right here. I'll stack it right here. It's like my clipboard.
Cheat
that.
sheet.
Yeah.
And it's out of date, probably.
I had to print it out because it covers 5 screens. His freaking IMDb as a director. He's got like 12 franchises.
Here, do you want me
that
to
he
hold
makes.
one up for you?
Yeah. No, it's fine. We're good.
Do you have any emails as well printed out?
That's too funny.
Jackass.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me about this Battle Angel Alita. And I'll
It's
listen
like
this time.
this. It's like this. It's like this. This futuristic world that's like set in like where like cyborgs and monsters like run around. And it's about like this. This cybernetics doctor who finds like parts of like an old cyborg model and then restores it, and that's like Alita. She's like this cyborg robot, and turns out she doesn't have any memory. And then like within like the first issue of the manga, she shows that she remembers this very elite kind of fighting style. And so then it's like her finding herself as like becoming a bounty hunter of these other monsters and that kind of thing. But I mean, reading that and like thinking about like Robert's like work like on Sin City and stuff. I mean, I'd be down with something like that. It was something that James Cameron was supposed to, he's had the rights for it for like forever. And then he just hasn't had time to do it, and he wants to work on, like, I guess people are saying he can't do it because he's got to work on the Avatar sequel or trilogy, and so he's
Doing a trilogy, huh?
That's what it's that's the news. You know,
Always
it's,
with
but,
the trilogies.
Like Avatar news, like changes
Titanic,
like
the
every
trilogy.
week.
No, that's just the one. I don't know what else they can
was
do.
making a joke.
They can do a prequel to Titanic, which is like a rowboat.
One for Jack.
And hanging out in that. Well, that's how it's called. I mean, it's like the way you're describing it. It's like very strong female lead character, which I
Right.
think Cameron does really well.
Like it's like one of those really futuristic worlds, like Fifth Element, AI, that kind of like world.
Aeon Flux.
Yeah, well, let's not say that. We don't need to group that together with the potential project of Robert,
Why are you hating on Aeon Flux?
because it's a horrible
I've
movie.
never seen it.
Aeon Flux.
But I
It was
just
back from a really cool thing on MTV called Liquid Television, and then they made it into a Charlize Theron live action movie.
Didn't she? It's like some woman with black hair, right?
Dude,
That's all I
it's the
remember from
cartoon.
trailer.
You see the cartoon, John? The
Yes.
animation? It's just. I'm sure you can find it online now. It's freaky as fuck.
What's
Yeah.
freaky about it?
It's just that's just it. It's just freaky. Like there's the whole show starts with the intro where the fly like walking and then a Venus flytrap catches it. but then you realize it's not a Venus flytrap, it's a lady's eyelashes, and then her eye like rolls around to look at it, like her eye was in the back of her head.
Yeah.
And it's just like that's the intro.
That would make me uneasy.
Yeah, that's the intro to Aeon Flux.
Yeah, it's like one of these worlds where like the way that what I read James Cameron didn't want to do is because he wanted for technology to catch up where he could actually like create this world. It's gonna be live action, but like Avatar is live action.
That must
that
suck
kind of thing.
as a director who has the rights to something but is waiting for technology to be to the point where he can make it.
Didn't he say that about Avatar? Like
Yeah,
he
he
had
waited a long
Avatar in the
time,
waiting
right?
for like a decade.
Yeah.
I wonder if Avatar, like when I saw Jurassic Park just recently, holds up perfectly fine.
Yeah.
After all this time, Terminator 2, which was about the same time frame as Jurassic Park, seemed revolutionary at the time too, but it also doesn't quite hold up as well.
The T-1000?
The T-1000 one, yeah. And
You know what doesn't hold up? Terminator 1, where he suddenly turns into a stop-motion animated like stick thing, like walking like this.
Dude, the weirdest thing to me about the Terminator
Is his
franchise...
hand together like that during the stop-motion animation?
The weirdest thing about the Terminator
I'll do that.
franchise is that they literally spoiled the movies in every single trailer for that franchise.
Right.
Oh,
Every
even the
single
newest one.
Even the newest one.
Yeah.
Like Terminator 2 was like the biggest spoiler ever. They gave away the big twist in the movie.
What was the twist they gave away?
That Arnold's the good guy.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that's a twist, though.
Dude. When they're in the mall and Arnold has the roses and they're coming down the hallway and there's that moment of good guy or bad guy, and then he shoots the T-1000.
That's in like the first 10 minutes, though, isn't it?
It's still a spoiler.
It's still, but if he's the bad guy in the first movie and then he's the good guy in the second movie, that's the big twist.
If the movie had opened, it fades from black and he's like, ugh, and then he just says, I'm the good guy. And it was in the first minute. Is that still a twist?
No, yeah, sure, it is. I would want to
For the
know that
sake
in
of
the
Bernie's
movie theater.
argument, it is.
I think. Listen, why do you think a twist has to come in like the last bit of the movie to be a twist?
Gotta
There'll
M.
be
Night
build
Shyamalan
up to
it.
a twist.
This
No,
is a
not twist.
franchise level twist. This isn't your like run of the mill like within a feature twist.
Was
This
it
is
you who was talking about one time you went to see a movie at
Probably.
the Alamo Draft House, and there was, you know how they show those little pre-show videos and clips?
Yeah.
There was like a skit or something that showed someone using a weapon to kill someone. That was like the big.
From No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
The big surprise weapon he pulls out at one point.
It's not really a surprise weapon.
But it was like, I felt like it wasn't necessary for Alamo to detract from that moment.
Oh,
in the
before
film.
you saw the movie.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were using it on pumpkins.
Yeah.
Outside of the Alamo Ritz. And I was like, it's a funny video, but you guys kind of like took away from what turned out to be one of my favorite movies of all time.
The reveal,
Right, when
right?
the first time he uses that on someone, it is a surprise.
It's a very confusing moment.
because you don't know what the hell this guy's.
And the guy himself doesn't know. He's like,
Yeah.
what's this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, even after he gets killed, you're still left wondering, like, what happened? How is there a whole?
But they totally describe what the thing is.
Should we describe at this point what we're talking
Oh,
about?
yeah. It's like a pneumatic.
Yeah, it like
Punch.
It's like a hole, but that like shoots out like a pneumatic
Connected to
Rod.
like
rod that
air
like
tank.
Not
goes
really
into it.
understanding you.
Yeah. And it like
Goes into an animal
Have
head.
you seen No Country for Old Men?
No.
Oh, it's a great movie.
He just walks around with like
It's
a
very disturbing, but it's
the,
compressed canister of gas.
The scene with him and in the gas station clerk with the coin flipping might be one of the most stressful scenes in film that I can like recall.
Yeah, it is really stressful. You
Why
know what's a
don't
great way to reduce stress is get a good night's sleep. This episode of Rooster Teeth Podcast is brought to you by Casper. Okay, I didn't mean to cut you off, Barb. What were you
That
saying?
was smooth, Bernie. Just
You like my segue?
Yeah, that was really nice.
Listen, so very natural.
I'm taking notes.
I like Gus's segues a lot better, which is, hold on, I need to read this.
That's my segue. That's mine. Before
That's
we
the
go
only
to our
way he
next
gets us to
game, I
shut
gotta
up.
read something.
That's how he gets us to shut up. Otherwise, we don't ever stop talking.
Go.
So it works.
Just going with a ham-fisted
I was
segue,
going to
that's
ask
what I said.
you if you could print out the page for the
Print it
No
out?
Country for Old Men IMDb so I could remember who the actor was.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut off your joke. We were going to fucking pull a
All
wicked
that
You know
time.
what
singer.
works? A joke with like a 4-minute gap in between the punchlines.
So we can
No,
like
but I legitimately forget who.
Bulldog with the joke.
Who's in that actor or in that movie? Who's the main actor in that?
Javier Bardem.
Yeah.
No, actually, the main actor, I guess, is Josh Brolin.
By the
Yeah,
way,
but the one we remember.
Yeah, Javier Bardem is
that
definitely
movie
the takeaway.
Okay.
ends like garbage.
What? No.
No.
No, yeah, you're fucked up. You really think that's bad? This is, first of all, it's based on a Cormac McCarthy novel, and it's Cormac McCarthy's a fantastic writer. So, and it ends just the same way that the book does. So what's your problem with the end? Your problem is the end with the Tommy Lee Jones talking bit?
It was like movie,
Good explanation.
That's the way all
Wonderful.
movies end.
Origin of the English
I don't
language.
think this is a
Movie,
spoiler,
movie.
what I'm about to say. If you haven't seen No Country for Old
It's
Men.
like 10
And
years
even-
old.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen it, shame on you.
No.
But No Country for Old Men is like the whole lesson with Tommy Lee Jones' dad at the end and talking about like the way things used to be. And then the whole thing with the kids dealing with Javier Bardem when he gets into an accident and like them dealing with him. And then he kind of gets away and does this other thing. And towards the end, then Tommy Lee Jones does some stuff. There's a climax and then Tommy Lee Jones talks. That whole thing, that whole like last 15 minutes is so on point for what the title of the movie is, which is just like, and I think this applies to, you know, what we deal with like right now. I'll tell a story about like stranger danger and shit like that in a second. But it is this notion that when we were younger, the country was better and safer, or that the world was a better place, and that things have gotten shittier over time. And that's never been the case. The world is always getting better, not worse. It's just us who just like, as we grow older and we can't tolerate those things, or we've learned too much about the world. And it's more about us than it is about the way the world is going on. That's why it's No Country for Old Men, because this is a place that's always been rough and tumble. I mean, there were Indians and cowboys killing each other. You know, there was plagues and everything else. And it's just, you know, as you grow older, you have no tolerance for those kinds of things. So that's what I think. And that's like nowadays when, you know, I go to a playground and there's as many parents at the playground, and I'm one of them, but there's as many parents at a playground as there are kids. When I was a kid and I went to the playground, there was no fucking parents around. We would just my parents would kick me out of the house at like 9 a.m. and say, come back when the street lights turn on.
Yeah.
Did you also like leave the front door unlocked when you left?
Yeah. Yeah, my ex grew up in a small town. She did that. And I always she kept leaving the door unlocked, and I would have to constantly go lock doors in the house. And that drove me nuts. But it's one of those things. It's like the world was just as bad back then. It's like, it's not like the world has gotten worse. I had a buddy. This is gonna infuriate me talking about this. I gotta mentally prepare for this.
You want a pillow?
Yeah, give me the Hitler pillow.
What is that? No, he didn't give the Hitler pillow.
No, it's not the Hitler
Close
pillow.
enough.
I'll hug it. So I got a buddy of
Leave
mine,
Hitler next
and
to
he
me.
told me this story. He told me this just this morning. He went out this weekend with his kids, and he went to a bowling alley, and it was just, you know, normal day out with the kids, and he had to go to the bathroom, and his daughter is young. She's like 5 or 6, and his son's a little bit older than that. And he was like, okay, but they're okay. They'll be okay here, you know? So he goes to the bathroom. So he's going to the bathroom, and he passes this like day camp of kids where they're all out on a field trip bowling, you know, and they're there for the day. And he's going to the bathroom, and there's a female camp counselor there. And she goes, you can't go in the bathroom. There's somebody in there. And he goes, in the men's bathroom? She goes, yes. And he goes, it's a big bathroom. He goes, I've been here before. It's a bowling alley. It's not, there's enough room for a lot of people in there. And then a kid walks out like that. Like just a little kid, one of the kids from the day camp walks out. And he walks back to the lane where they're bowling. And she goes, yes, I'm sorry. It's just against our policy. That's against our policy. And he's like, what's against your policy? She goes, for any of our children to be in a unaccompanied male situation where an adult male would be around them unaccompanied.
Wow.
What
And
the
he's like,
fuck?
what the fuck? He goes, do you think that's a normal thing to say to me? He goes, what's wrong with you? And she's like, well, that's just our policy. He's like, first of all, you don't own the bowling alley or anything. It's just like, so he brought it up because I had told him the story about the Qantas Airlines where they moved the guy because he was sitting next to an unaccompanied minor, and their policy was adult males can't sit next to unaccompanied minors. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with people
And
that
if that's
you would
their
do that?
policy, then send the kid in with like a male counselor or something.
Yeah, exactly. They probably don't trust that guy either, you know?
Buddy system.
So messed up.
It's just, John, it's crazy.
No,
It's crazy.
I totally agree with you. That's crazy. I'm saying, but like, you know, instead of like keeping an adult man from going into a public bathroom, just send a couple kids in there.
It's just that, like, it's like shitstorm prevention, because if something did happen, they'd be in a lot of trouble. But, like, how many people are going to diddle a kid?
I get what you're saying.
Would they have had the same policy with the girls' restroom?
Probably not.
Who knows? Who knows what their logic
I guess
was?
the frequency of male diddlers is higher. But, like, what is the figure? Like, how many
like
and how many?
Everything I read, though, is some teacher sleeping with her students. You know?
A female one?
Female.
Yeah,
student.
female teacher
Or
sleeping with her
teacher,
students, yeah.
I always hear about priests.
Oh, yeah, that's the other one, too. So
It's just
he
it's
wasn't wearing a
both people.
collar or anything like that.
It wasn't a vicar.
He was going in.
Then I
like-
would have said,
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah. And he wasn't wearing like a Boy Scout outfit. Sorry if you're a Boy Scout. That was really low-hanging fruit.
Who
there.
else
Sorry
can
about
we
that.
can we
I don't know
can
what
we
you
insult?
could do in that situation. If you need to pee and you know you're not going to mess with any kid, but if you just barged in and peed, would you get in trouble?
No,
Like, what
Well,
was
they
in the
don't have any
ramifications?
jurisdiction there.
I don't know. Like,
You
what if
broke
she?
camp policy.
What if she called the police?
Like, could that have escalated
What's the
to?
charge? That's what I'm
what?
saying. It's like, I used a public restroom.
Yeah. So if he knows he's not going to do anything, why didn't he just go in anyway?
No, while he was discussing with her, the kid walked out.
Oh, okay.
So it's like literally like, I mean, someone stops you.
If you were in that situation, what would you have done?
I would have been just as mad as he was.
But you wouldn't have gone in.
Let's say you're in this situation and the kid doesn't walk out while she's talking to you, and so you're left with the choice of either following her lead on the policy or just going past this woman into the bathroom.
I would have gone in and molested the kid. sorry. No, I'm so sorry.
And that's going to be taken as a soundbite.
No, I would have just
Jeez.
gone straight in and been like, fuck off. Really, just fuck off. Because I've actually kind of reconciled myself with this. I caught myself one time at a playground where there was a kid who fell off of maybe like a 4-foot drop and fell on his shoulder, and he gets up and he's crying. And it's like, I just sat like 2 feet away from the kid going, hey, you're going to be okay. I didn't get near the kid. I didn't want to touch the kid because I was falling prey to that same idea that if I get anywhere near this kid and he's crying, that I'm going to look like I've done something weird to this kid.
Oh, I'll attest to that.
So
I mean,
I'm past that now.
Yeah, it's I don't like the feeling that I have, but I same thing when I'm at a playground with my kids, like you're almost scared to get in proximity or even like, for any reason touch any other kid. It's like you've got some sort of germ that you can't do anything about. But yeah, I feel the same way. Even though I'm there at the playground with my 2 little girls.
I always said other people's kids are like plutonium.
Yeah.
It's like you just like don't touch them. You know what I mean?
Did you guys see the video on Reddit the other day where this guy was flying his drone around just taking shots of the landscape and everything like that? And some guy confronted him saying, my kid's playing soccer over there. Stop filming my kid.
Oh yeah, people are weird about that.
And he was just
for
like,
sure.
no, I was just filming like the hills and
I was filming
landscape.
the outdoors.
The outdoors. And he's like, well, my kid's over there and you're filming my kid. I didn't give you the right to film my kid. You're a pervert.
Yeah, he didn't give the satellites the right to film his kids either.
And it's like, first of all, his kid's like this big, maybe.
He has a tiny kid?
Shut up, Chris. Don't laugh at that.
Chris like that one.
Probably laughing at the dad jokes.
How long until someone figures out some sort of like microchip to like embed in people that when cameras film them, they like blurred out?
Like in Watch Dogs, when you look at yourself on the security camera?
Yeah, they'll probably have, a lot sooner, they'll probably have chips that we're going to be shooting into kids' arms so we can track them with GPS. Like, that's a totally
I'm
normal thing
surprised
to
that
do.
doesn't exist yet, to be
And
honest.
I actually have that on Joe the Cat now.
You shot something into him?
I'm glad you ended that sentence with Joe the cat.
No, I have that.
Teddy.
He has a collar, but the idea of my kids wearing a GPS collar.
That's just a bracelet. That's just
Yeah.
a cat.
It's just
A cat collar is a bracelet on a kid.
Honestly, it's just a phone. I mean, I had like a really creepy thing happen that I didn't even sign up for. We upgraded all of our computers to Windows 10 at home, and Teddy has an account, and JD has an account, and they're all tied to their Xboxes and everything else. Well, because Teddy is listed as a child account still, our first week after having Windows 10, I get this report that says, here's everything your kid did this week in Windows 10. And it told me all the sites that he went to, what
God.
percentage of the time he was on certain sites.
That's fantastic.
That's so.
You
like
don't want to know that,
No.
do you?
I don't even know how I
You didn't even
activated
request
this.
it.
I just think
that.
that's amazing that it automatically, without you requesting it, was like, oh yeah, you need this.
The assumption is that I would want it.
Yeah.
Too. That was what was
So
really
did you
weird. You want to see
peruse
it?
it, or did you just be like, ugh, I
What
don't want to read it?
was there anything weird on there?
You know what? I read it. That's what I'll be
Yeah,
honest. I
you
read
did
it.
it.
Yeah, I did read it, and because I was mainly out of curiosity.
Well, what other reason would you have read it?
What?
Curiosity would be the only reason you would have read it.
I wasn't doing to like find something.
Research.
You know what I mean? So weekly activity report.
I don't want to
for
hear it, though. I
Teddy.
feel like it's an invasion on his privacy.
I'm not going to read it to you.
I like how it's
I will
gone from
not
him,
read
like,
it to
This
you.
is for Teddy?
He's like, I don't know if I should see this, and now
Yeah.
he's like letting the entire internet see his child's history.
So
If you could print me a copy, that'd be great.
I'll just show it to you there. Like, there's all the sites and how much time you spent on each site. and
What's the
everything.
top bar?
Steam.
Did I see people.com there?
Nope.
Oh. I was just like, damn, Teddy.
He's basically, I'm not going to tell you what he did. It's not your business. Fuck off.
But it's our
Microsoft Windows
business.
10.
I wouldn't want to. I don't know. I don't have kids. I can't really think about my own opinion in that situation. I feel like I wouldn't want to know, though.
I think
Would you want your parents to know what you're up to?
No.
I mean, they can. I mean, it's not.
At like 16, would you want them to know what you were doing?
no.
No. Not even if like there was anything bad. It's just there's some sort of level of like when you're, at that age, you want something that's your own, and so the thing that anything you're doing by yourself, like someone else can just check on without your permission, that would just be like, that'd be a super bummer as a kid.
A huge bar. And I used to advise these two, especially when they first started working with us, is, they're a younger generation and they just post all their lives online and share everything. It's like, you don't have to do that. That is not a
You
requirement.
think I did that?
You would overshare stuff, and Ben too.
What I overshare?
I didn't overshare too much.
Well, just like posting where you are and what you're doing, and pictures of you like drinking with friends and stuff like that. It's like, it's like you don't have to share all.
Was it better back in the day when people didn't do that, Bernie?
Listen, all I'm saying is, John,
I went to a bar. Sorry for oversharing.
well, all I'm saying is that, like, who you're
Leave
dating
some
and all that
mystery in
stuff.
the relationship, Gavin. Come on.
But it's like I lived in an age where it was a nice sweet spot between when they invented fire and when they invented the internet. I'm somewhere in that range. And I'm glad that I went all the way through high school and then the earlier part of college before everything just started getting documented.
Well, that's what Will Smith said once during like a talk show interview where he was like, he was talking about his kid, Jaden, and how like, I think he actually used the word dumb. And he was like, when I was 17, I was dumb. He's like, but there was no social media to document me being dumb.
Yeah, just lawsuits.
And it's even self-documentation. I was in a movie with a guy that as soon as I got cast in it, this guy was also in it. And it turned out when he was like 17, it came out that he posted something when he was 15 that he subsequently had erased, but it was a really fucking dumb comment that this guy made. I mean, it was really dumb, and he acknowledged it was really dumb. And it was like, but it's going to follow him forever.
Well, to think about how far that's come, I remember reading an article, and this must have been something like Wired magazine. This had to have been like 10 plus years ago, and I was reading about a guy who somehow in error got on like the FBI, like an FBI list, and he wasn't supposed to be on there, but it was like one of those lists that once you get on there, you're never off just in case. And so he was always under suspicion of like where he was or what his he was using his credit card for. And so to battle that, he had like a GPS device on him, which is before like your phone was that. And then he also was constantly taking pictures of himself and pictures of where he was, like menus of places, and posting them to a blog constantly throughout the day. And to read that, like, over a decade ago, that was bizarre. Someone documenting throughout their day with pictures and their location on the internet. Yeah. And it was like, wow, that must be crazy to do that and horrible to have to keep up with that. And now people, we do that voluntarily.
Yeah, it's done automatically sometimes. Like, you don't even know, like, things you're doing. I went to Facebook the other day, and the thing where you post your fucking status or whatever. What are you thinking?
Your fucking status.
What is that thing at the top? It's always like, what are you thinking? Or
what's on your mind?
Yeah, I think it says, what's your fucking status? I think it says
that.
What does it say?
So this other thing today, go to Facebook now and do it. I went to Facebook and it said, hey, you have this link in your clipboard. Do you want to post it?
That's a hideous feature.
That's an awful feature.
Who would ever think, yes?
They also have the ability to have all your photos from your camera roll automatically be uploaded to Facebook. That's dangerous.
That is something you could accidentally activate, or I could say, or no, I don't want to click it, and I click the wrong fucking thing, and then I'm posting a link to who knows what.
I am so happy I don't have a
mind,
Facebook account. That sounds horrible.
How about we all whip out our phones and we all post our clipboards right now? See what happens.
I'll paste mine and see what I have.
I'm curious what I have.
Let's paste our clipboards.
Mine is
you at home do the same.
Mine is the free play
Here's how I know, like, it's
That's a game. Have you ever done that where you tell people to show you the last photo they took?
That's the thing I tweeted from the Rooster Teeth account.
Here's how I know I could fuck that up. I had the stupidest problem ever, where there's a certain kind of Razer keyboard I like. It's the Deathstalker keyboard. It's got really flat keys, and I like it a lot.
It's a good name for a flat keyboard.
Deathstalker. It's a terrible name, but I like that one. And my P key on my old one stopped working one day, and I was like, forget it. So I went and got out of the Let's Play room one of those clacky mechanical keyboards.
Yeah.
Those things are horrendous.
Yeah.
Who the hell wants one of those things?
Gus.
I hate them.
Gus makes sense. Gus would want one.
Gus loves the loudest
He hears
keyboard
the
possible.
clacking and he knows it keeps away people.
Exactly.
That would
There's
come
like
talk to him.
6 different kinds of switch you can get in those clickety clacks. Ridiculous.
It's awful.
People have like preference to like what color switch they want and stuff.
And it also like does rainbow or like the chroma stuff underneath. My kids like that stuff. But
I have my clipboard was Miles Luna's address, so.
Oh, I'll try mine. So then I finally said, all right, forget it. I'll just buy another version of the keyboard that I like. So I went and bought the new keyboard. It finally arrived. I plugged it in. I was using it. Go to type P. The P on it doesn't work.
What?
And I was like, this is exactly what happened to the last fucking keyboard. Turns out somehow I had opened up a profile, made a profile for the keyboard, and changed P to nothing.
Man,
And so when I plugged in the new keyboard, it like downloaded my profile from the cloud and goes, oh, this guy fucking hates P. So it turned it off on my new keyboard too.
You must have been really.
How did that happen? I mean, what's that? Oh, it could have been Joe actually saying you like
Joe
sat on the
hates
keyboard.
peas.
and did
I was going to
something.
say, you must have been really issed off.
All right, let's see what my clipboard is.
Thanks, Chris.
Let's see what my clipboard. Did you guys
You can
paste
just
yours?
see. You can just see. You can see. Like when you watch Barbara, you can just see her formulating these things and holding on to them until there's like a lull.
That one was really funny though.
No,
was
it
good.
wasn't. She gave.
That was really funny.
Ugh.
Like usually it's tossed.
No,
but
see,
that
you
was
can't
good.
say it's funny because then it just continues.
They're all really funny.
That is mine.
What is yours?
Oh.
I'm showing it to Barb. It's a dick pic.
No.
No, it's a.
I like Barbara's reaction.
It's a EW article about season 3 Ruby.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Entertainment Weekly one.
That premiered this weekend,
That
which was
premi-
awesome.
Congratulations.
I didn't do
Actually
anything.
blew up the website.
Yeah.
I was talking about it in the vlog that I posted today, but Adam said he brought 40 servers online in order to maintain the website while people were getting Ruby, and that didn't work.
He said it was double the amount he thought we would need.
He literally said, I spent too much money on it because I was out of town, and I didn't want to have to deal with it while I was out of town, so I like doubled up on what I thought I would need, and it still wasn't enough.
It's really funny that the way that we gauge success around here is how much we kill Adam.
Broke the site.
Like how many years of Adam's life you take off. That's like how well your show's doing.
Yeah, like if he looks really happy on Monday morning, it's like, what
Oh,
happened?
we're doing horribly.
Sometimes Adam just comes into our office and just goes face down onto our couch.
It's
He's
so
like, it's a good day
sad.
for Adam. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
Guy's got a lot to do.
He does.
It's
Really
it's
smart.
like when we do our Monday meetings and we go around departments and you get to tech and just Adam like exhales.
He just has
Yeah.
his hands in his pockets
Yeah.
and he's just like,
So we got this, and we're doing that.
or he says, business as usual.
Well, the one thing he asks, like, I love it's almost every single week. I don't know why he says every single week. He's like, if you don't need to bother us, don't bother us. We got to work
us
on
alone.
this.
Who
It's like-
doesn't say that at this point, though?
Yeah.
That's also like Achievement Hunter's
Yeah.
mantra. Just, everyone's in the office, just leave us alone, please. I'm surprised you guys just haven't, like, boarded up the door.
You guys could still come visit Gus, Bethany, and I all the time.
I stop by there about once a day, say hello.
Get nature bucks. I know why.
I hung out on the couch today.
I got accused of eating your nature box last time, and I did not do it.
Who did?
The second to last one, I ate that one. But the last one, I don't know what happened there. There was a lot of stuff in
I
there.
think it just got delivered to the wrong person.
Some pear stuff that I had never seen before. Some pear granola. I believe it had pear in it.
Is that pear?
Something pear related.
Or on your new keyboard, was it air?
I think it might have been pear. It could have been mango, but no, it was pear because it was a Thursday. No, it might have been a Tuesday because then that was when I got my haircut. It's
And I
like
remember
those
I
kind of
couldn't
stupid
spell
stories.
I knew
the
it was a
word
pear because I had a
pear.
buddy back in grade school, and he would eat a pear every day. That's when I learned about pears.
Back in the good old days, we had pears.
Of course, we didn't call them pears back then.
Do you think if
We called them sour apples.
does anyone? I feel like if you were to ask the world,
Did you know the color orange was named after the orange? Did you know that?
Yes, I did know
That
that.
was the best conversational fuck you could do.
I didn't want to get too far off the topic. I'm sorry, guys.
It's like
Oh, that was going
conversational
nowhere.
jousting.
He looked like he was building up to something. It was going to take a while, so I just wanted to get that thought out. Yeah, orange was not called orange before the orange fruit. They named it. They finally said, "Fuck it, we're
I
just going
think
to call it."
everyone knows that.
Oh, is it true?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. What are you talking about?
What was the name of the color then? What was the original color name?
I don't know, but
Frizzbot.
everyone knows that.
You ever think it's called? I think it was like verisimilitude or something like that. I'll look this
Yeah,
up.
that's how they named colors. They're like red, blue, yellow, verisimilitude.
Verisimilitude.
That's why I changed it to orange. It was such a mouthful. Okay, orange color original name.
Just like a group of people like,
Maybe it
Jerry,
just
we're
didn't
not
have
going
a
to
name.
fucking call it verisimilitude.
it had a name.
Maybe it just didn't have a name, Bernie.
The unknown color?
I'm looking this up. Gavin, why don't you go with your thing
I was
there?
trying to talk about the pear, but the P
My
on the
comment was
keyboard
dumb,
wouldn't
and to
work.
talk about it now it would just.
Is it too much? Now
What
we
was it
gotta
about?
talk about
Really
it.
worse than that?
Well, I was gonna say, like, if you asked the world
There you go.
what their favorite fruit was, or if you could be a fruit, which fruit? No one would say pear.
Pear is actually my favorite fruit.
Get out.
Pear is
I
absolutely
love pear too.
my favorite fruit.
Your favorite of all the fruits?
I
you
buy
can't
pear.
even buy juice.
I buy pear.
you
What is
can.
that?
Pear
Who
juice, yeah, you
cares?
can.
Yeah, you can.
You can buy pear juice.
You can buy anything juice, almost.
Anything juice.
You could buy
Steak
prune
juice.
juice. How do you explain that?
That is true. How do you buy prune juice?
Because prunes are just
They're just plums, right?
Plums.
Why
So
isn't
wouldn't
it
it be
plum
Is
juice?
it just like they're like
Well, I mean,
blended up so
a
much
prune
the
doesn't
juice?
It's
taste
also
like
a dry thing.
Yeah,
Is it like just is it a glass of air?
juice.
Is there raisin juice?
yeah. Well, there's what's
There's not really much
there's-
wet in a
no.
raisin.
What?
There's grape
That's the
juice.
thing, There's
There you
nothing
go.
wet left in
There's
a
some
plum.
bedroom talk
or
for
in
you.
a pear or in a prune.
No, but prunes have that flavor. You could mush.
Hey, someone on Twitter tell me what the real name of an orange is.
I think it's
Or
like one of
the
those,
real name of the color orange.
I think it's a bum fact. I don't think that's real.
Orange was called Gio Le Rouge.
There you go.
Bullshit.
Wow. Galuga Reed. What does that say? What does that say? I can't read.
Try it again. Try it
Giola
again.
red.
Meaning yellow red.
In Old
The color
English
was
and
referred to
Middle
as
English.
Jola red, meaning yellow red, in Old English and Middle English. Okay, what the fuck is Middle English? What is that?
That was
It's where we stand.
right after right before last English.
What's it's the
Yeah.
middle of
And
England?
right
Or
after
the Middle
First
Ages
English.
England?
Middle. Yeah, give me a map. I can point to Middle England.
Did you know this was the middle of England?
It's like literally
The Middle Ages.
Is the Middle Ages they
Yeah.
spoke like that?
Yeah.
They said gula red?
You're asking him?
Yeah.
Did you learn gula red for
No,
orange
I never
when you
knew
were?
that.
I don't know. Is that how you pronounce it?
Galuga red.
I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's absolutely not.
Verisimilitude. Someone go on Wikipedia and change that to whatever
You
the fuck
can't
you
even
said.
say it.
No.
That
It
shit.
looks like gula red. Maurice is online
What's
telling
your
me that.
favorite fruit, Gavin?
Favorite fruit.
Wow.
You had this question.
Wow.
I like the Asian
No,
pear.
just like a lovely grape.
Oh, obviously.
I used to feed Gavin grapes from my.
What happened to that, by the way?
Pre-prepared
That
meals.
was like a weird thing, but
I
seriously.
drink space food now. That's what
Yeah.
happened. You want like some of my sludge from the bottom of
Did
my
you have your
space
space
jar?
food today?
I did. I had 2 space foods today.
I had my space food.
Yeah, you're also doing
I
space
am
food,
doing
John.
space food.
I also like the
Wonderful.
grapefruit.
Nope.
Pink,
God.
pink
ever-
grapefruit.
Why?
The
I mean, a
grapefruit
gorilla
and
Didn't
the
this podcast
grapefruit.
win awards at some point?
At one point.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Now,
I think it says more about them than it does about us. Stupid award givers. But how come you don't ever eat another fruit the way you eat a grapefruit? Like if you gave me an orange and I cut it straight down the middle and started eating it with a spoon, I would be a fucking lunatic, wouldn't I? Why is the grapefruit the only thing that you do like that?
I think
only
the
citrus.
size.
It's
Well, I don't
because
eat a
of the
grapefruit
size.
like that. I peel it like a damn orange.
And you eat it like in slices?
And I also like extra peel it. Like with an orange, you just pull off the segment and you eat all the goop. You eat all the gack that holds the goop. But with a grapefruit, I get rid of everything except for the little soft
You eat all the
fleshies.
gut.
The little pods?
No, I get rid of all like the pod skin. Just
No,
so
it's
it's like
inside of the little pods of juice is essentially what it is. That's
yeah,
what's
no, that's what you
inside
eat.
That's
That's
the
the
gack.
meat.
All the segments.
The gack.
But the
I don't-
gack's the outside.
God damn it.
The gack's the skin.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like the inner gack
Right.
skin that holds the goop.
I'm the idiot here. That's what it is.
No, but I don't like to do with a spoon because then you get all the gackage.
There you go.
Okay, makes sense.
My parents would prepare grapefruit very specially for me and my brothers. They would cut it open and then take a knife and cut around the edge and then cut through each slice so you could just spoon each piece out very easily. You don't have to actually like scrape it.
And then they
Look at
pre-chewed
a
it.
pampered childhood did you
And
have?
then they would sprinkle a little sugar on it too.
Is that like a Jewish grapefruit technique?
What is that? Why would it be a Jewish thing?
Everything that my parents did for us was a Jewish technique in some
what is this?
manner. Oh, is this guy preparing a grapefruit?
Oh, it looks. He made it look awful.
Well, that's
looks
all.
like a-
That's
it
all
looks like
the
a
gack.
vagina.
It looks
Or
like
the
a
goop.
brain. It looks like a bacon ball.
He's making like grapefruit
bacon ball.
labia.
No thanks.
What?
Yes.
Look at what
thanks.
he's doing. He's like fumbling the.
That's the worst chef ever.
What were you supposed to
That's
take
like a
away
chef.
from
He's
that?
like at a halfway house.
Should we just make a bunch of like really crap but not joking chef videos where we prepare food in like the worst ways?
Isn't that like How to Basic? Isn't that what that is? Did you ever watch How to Basic?
Yeah, that kind of got out of hand.
Guy's a fucking
like
lunatic. By the way, you just spit so
Yeah,
much. All
there's
over
a
it.
lot.
Normally you can just get like a little drop now and then. That was like a full gob.
Honestly, the grapefruit made my mouth water. Oh, this looks so
Pavlovian
good.
response to the
Oh, it was just
grapefruit.
like, oh my god! My mouth just filled with saliva.
I'm gonna make some
Has anyone
notes.
got grapefruit?
Kind of reminds me of Michael when he gets really excited and his
Yeah.
mouth starts to foam a little
He
bit.
does.
That's what Jeremy's been commenting on recently because he's in the main room now with the big boys.
Yeah.
and he's noticed how much Michael
I
spits.
think everyone's a big boy.
Oh,
compared
Michael
to
spits a
Jeremy.
lot?
Yeah, like Jeremy's
Yeah.
like
Just kidding.
blown away by the spit that comes
When
out
Michael
of Michael.
gets into
when he-
like into one of his story modes, it's just
That's
like
every minute.
right.
Yeah. Sometimes he'll like legitimately foam.
Really?
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
like, well, Michael's excited.
But he doesn't slow down
It's
for
gonna be a
it.
good one.
No way. Why would you?
Yeah.
Well, recently in my experiment in vlogging, I found that vlogging is actually way harder than it seems.
It is.
Yeah, Felicia Day said that when she started doing her I think it's called her vlog.
Doing it well.
Let's assume it's gonna be good. Let's hope.
Why is it
let's
challenging?
just let's
Well,
not
just talking for like you're pretty much talking for 20 to 30 minutes straight.
Yeah.
And it's just like a straight go of gabbing.
was-
It's like you start to build up spit and shit and everything in your mouth and
Gack.
Yeah, gack and whatnot. So
That was one of the things that I discovered when I had a short stint where I was professor at a college and adjunct.
You're a professor?
I was a professor, Professor Risinger.
You do look pretty
Professor
prof.
Reismonger. I sorry.
There you go.
But yeah,
Reismonger.
it was that big part of like, college classes, just like lecturing. And so like standing in front of a class and talking for like 30 minutes nonstop about, a program or designing and that kind of thing. It's like, my voice went away and it was hard. It was hard.
Yeah.
I've also thought, and I've talked with Meg about it before. I think her like post-entertainment career that she envisioned was like college professor or something like that. I've always thought it'd be fun to do that. Like I kind of been doing a lot of stuff down at the University south of here, Texas State, and it's like,
You always give really good talks.
what would it really be like to do like a whole class, like prepare for that? Because that's like, if you did a whole fucking semester, that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to be in a class.
A
Can you
lot of
imagine to make
talking.
the class?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Short of this job, my favorite job I've ever had was being an adjunct professor. Because it was a great amount. Like the first time I ever taught the classes, because I made my curriculum, it was a lot of work because you're literally you have to fill the class. But then once you had like a curriculum, it was kind of like, it was just fun.
How old were you when you were a professor?
Early 20s.
Wow.
And you were at a college?
How old are you now?
Nice, right?
I'm 31.
That's a good gig, my friend.
What?
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know you were over 30.
Yeah.
So were you
How old?
20?
I missed that thing. How old?
31.
So you were in
That's
your
okay.
20s when I met you?
Yeah. Late 20s.
Couldn't you do that math on your own? You don't know how long you've known John?
No, I don't. I was trying to figure out, have I known you for 2 years?
Yeah.
Used to have like a little, short haircut.
You now versus how you looked when you first got to Rooster Teeth is night and day.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's been a...
Was he night and day? Look at him from like 10 years ago. That's like...
Yeah.
No, even like 2 or 3
No,
years
that wasn't
ago.
even 10 years ago. No, people, because we're coming up on like a year of On the Spot, and people have been posting like how I looked at the first episodes versus how I look now.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Look how full of joy you
And
are.
that's a year ago.
Look at that.
That's
Happy
not,
young
that-
man.
Yeah, that's probably about a year ago.
Do a hard
yeah.
cut from that to John right now. Trying to line that.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, you definitely went through the biggest change.
And
I
then
think.
now cut to the picture of me that I posted for Extra Life last year.
What did you do before this? Did you ever do any web stuff before this?
Did a little bit. Tried to stay away from web stuff as much as I could because I wasn't like a programmer. I'm a graphic designer. I'm the art side.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was like, I think it's getting better now, but there was a time when people just considered that all one thing. And so like, oh, you're a graphic designer, you can make this website.
Yeah.
Like, well, some people can. I couldn't. I was completely on the aesthetic side.
Well, you wouldn't necessarily need to be a programmer in order to have a good website if you had a really great place to host it. I want to remind everybody that this episode is brought to you by... Yeah,
I
we
fell
were
for it
talking.
again.
We
I
were
fell for it
just.
again.
We did so many interviews last week because of the Laser Team announcement with YouTube Red, and it's always going back to those early days. That's what most people want to talk to us about. It seems like of just starting out and how we were like 4 years before YouTube even existed. We started doing all this stuff. So
What do they want to talk about?
like the origin story of Rooster
Oh.
Teeth and that kind of stuff, and like how'd you get started and. Like, talk about, Laser Team. Have you guys ever wanted to make feature films? So we talked about the early days and all
Just
that stuff.
one interview, and you can make it a small publication. I just want you to answer one time that you started out in porn. Just like make that just
Just
one.
once.
When'd you get
Never.
started? Yeah.
I mean, even you saying that, at some point in the future, I'm going to read a comment thread
Perfect.
somewhere where people will have misinterpreted or something like that.
Wait,
Just, and
people
for the
misin-
record, Jack was the one who was in porn.
People misinterpret stuff on the internet.
What's that?
People misinterpret stuff on the internet.
It's one big game of telephone, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the way it works.
It's been
Very
raining
broken.
recently. Do you have on your phone?
Weirdest transitions.
I was just thinking
Is
of
this
something
another
that,
ad read? Is this
I
another?
was thinking of something that happened to me the
Rishi
other night.
podcast is brought to you by Talking Rain.
Do you have emergency weather alerts on your phone?
Yeah.
No, I turned them off.
I have a new phone, and by default, they were on again.
You don't like them?
Dude, it's like a fucking train is
So
driving through my...
let me set a scene. I couldn't sleep the other night, so I thought, well, I don't really like listening to headphones in my sleep. But I had to because I couldn't sleep, so I was listening to relaxing shit. About 4 a.m. Which
In
is the
headphones?
emergency tone in my headphones.
Oh my
so
God.
loud because
Oh
I was
my
listening to
God.
like really quiet, relaxing stuff. I don't think my heart has ever beat faster.
Like, what was your physical reaction to it?
I just leapt up. I must have hit the ceiling almost. It
Holy
was so
And
scary.
the best part about it was the warning was like, don't drive on the roadways,
Yeah,
which
it
you
was
don't
like-
drive anyway.
At 4 in the
careful,
morning when
it's
you're
raining.
asleep.
Why isn't there just like an automatic?
Dude, we had so much rain this weekend, though.
Yeah, but I don't need to know it for.
The thing about those emergency warnings, though, it's nothing you're not going to find out on Twitter if you just look at your phone or the news or anything like that. It's not like you need to know right then and there.
When I wake up, yeah, it's fine.
One of the best, one of the, like, during the first year that I was here in Austin, so I come from California. We don't have anything like hurricanes or tornadoes, that kind of thing. We just have earthquakes. But there was a time about a year ago, we had a really serious storm here. And it was actually to that point where they were like, the emergency warning thing was telling people, like, you know, get somewhere safe,
duck and cover,
that kind of thing. And that really freaked me out because I've just, like, you know, almost 30 years old, never dealt with that, you know, my entire life. And so I was like trying to figure out who of my friends has lived here long enough to be able to like give me good advice. And so I remember texting Jack, and I was like, Jack, what do I do? Because I
Jack's
you know,
your go-to.
Well, I couldn't think of who I had a phone number for that had been here a long time. You hadn't been here a long time.
No, I know. I
still doesn't
I
know.
assume you talk about that hurricane thing that happened.
Yeah, and so I mean, he gave me advice, but one of the things that really freaked me out was I was worried about, you know, a tornado or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's like,
which we don't get a lot of here, but
yeah,
Dallas are tornadoes, and anyway, go ahead.
But he did say something. He's like, if you hear a train, get to somewhere safe, and that freaked me out because I was like, what do you mean if you hear a train? Like, do trains get fucked up during like tornadoes or something? They just start flying through neighborhoods or something? Yeah, I didn't know. And then he like texted back. He's like, yeah, they make sounds like a train when they're close.
There's nothing else you can really associate with that noise. It's like the house will be
just
rattling.
The way he phrased it, though,
yeah.
it's just like, if you hear a train, get somewhere safe.
Something like a train.
You're like, my kids are watching Thomas the Tank Engine. So you get under the bed.
They loved it. I had them like in because they didn't know what was going on, but I had them. The safest place in my house was the downstairs bathroom underneath the stairs.
Yeah.
And so I had like blankets all in the bathroom, and I had them down in there.
Stuff.
And they were like, we're having a slumber party in the bathroom downstairs because Daddy's weird, you know, but they didn't know the
Where
dangers.
do you think the safest place in this office is in terms of tornadoes or
There's not a
hurricanes?
lot, probably, because we have big bay doors. So if like
Yeah.
a tornado hit this thing, it'd be kind of rough. And there's probably the old achievement in our office, which is now the gaming department.
Well, just because it's a
there's a
room.
wall.
in a
It's an
room.
actual
Room
wall.
within a room.
It's walls.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they just don't have.
Gavin's old office.
That's
would probably be good.
even two more walls back.
It's got a little bit of glass in it, but
because we don't
it's
have any
center.
bathrooms inside.
Like, I've never experienced that tone or that option in the phone. I don't know whether they just added it after I moved here or we just don't have them in England. But it's terrifying.
There's
to hear that.
actually another one that'll cause that. Is Amber Alerts cause that as well?
And that's a missing kid, right?
It's supposed to be missing kids, but a lot of times it's missing senior citizens.
Yeah,
Isn't
missing
that
old
a
people are now in
silver
there.
alert?
I don't know. I always thought they were just. I thought Amber just meant.
I think silver
Missing
alert
person.
is an older person.
Is
missing.
it?
Mhm.
What is there? I recognize it's a
alert.
real
Called it
problem.
Silver alert.
I recognize that's a real problem.
Yeah, great.
right?
Yeah, I know.
What,
It's-
a missing old person?
It doesn't seem to be the same level as a missing kid to me. A kid that's missing is like, as on their own they can't do
That's
something.
ageist.
Well, it's
It's
because
a
a
little
kid-
ageist. It's a little ageist. All I'm saying is if you read
When you get lost, Bernie, we're not going to come after you, okay?
When you
if
get
you read
lost looking for
40-year-old
pears.
guy lost in a Tesla, just don't bother looking for me.
When
I'm
whatever
okay.
happens and you get into that fugue state, we all know you're going to get to at some point. We're just going to be like, he's fine. He's fine.
It's
He
after
said,
you find your second cell phone.
Last seen auto driving down I-35, complaining about oversharing of the younger
And pears.
generation.
Do you see that video of the guy in his Tesla where it just veers into oncoming traffic?
So-
the exact same thing as
They're
what happened to us.
People are fucking idiots. People are they're basically idiots. That all those videos that people are putting out show that people can't follow a simple set of rules. And it's like, I don't know why the guy was filming the car driving while he's supposed to be the one driving the car. And
But
he's
it's
like,
auto-drive.
He's got a camera and all that stuff. But if you read all the documentation, we talked about this on the podcast. I think you were here last time. Tesla is overselling it by calling it auto drive. It's really not. I mean, the wheel will turn and it will steer itself down, but you literally can't make a turn in the car. You can change lanes, but you cannot like make a right turn.
Right.
The car doesn't stop at stoplights. The car doesn't stop at stop signs.
It's like if you're on a freeway or like a highway, like out in the middle of nowhere, you can just set
Yeah.
it to go.
Yeah, I can drive all the way across Austin, never touch the wheel and never touch the pedals as long as I'm on the freeway. And I'm like, I got a straight like shot, just follow this road.
If it sees taillights, does it slow down?
Yeah, it'll lock
Okay.
onto other cars beside you. It actually does way better in bumper to bumper traffic because it has all the other cars to like.
What if you're driving along and someone swerves?
It
little
actually
bit.
reacts faster than I would. Like if somebody cuts me off in front, it backs way the hell up.
Oh, wow.
The one thing it does is when you go to tell it I want to change lanes, and it like will wait till the car gets a little bit out of the way and then gets over. So the car is actually like way more aggressive about changing lanes than I would ever be. Another problem that it has on a freeway is when, and this happens a lot of places in Austin, where all of a sudden the lane just splits or a lane like comes together, and something like that happens.
Like a merge, you mean?
Yeah, when lanes merge or split.
You know how in traffic, if everyone's just stationary and then the car in front moves ahead, the next car moves, and it's kind of like a very slow sort of like snake-like movement. If they were all Teslas locked onto each other, would they all just go at the same time?
No, there's a bit of a delay.
There is?
But it's just like...
Well, I think wouldn't it just be like a constant slow movement, because the reason why we start and stop is because our reaction time, we see the light, then we go. I think, but if it was like a robot or a computer, wouldn't it just be like, all right, everyone just kind of...
Like a big hive mind.
Yeah,
of Tesla.
that's what I think.
Assuming that if there's a standard out there and enough cars become auto drive, that they'll communicate with one another, but they don't really do that. They're designing them such that they can just interpret what's going on the road and then react accordingly.
I think they're going to have to update traffic lights to, in real time, broadcast their state. Like a traffic light needs to Wi-Fi the fact that it's red, and then other cars can pick up on that.
Why? If the cars can already detect it, it's cheaper to have all the cars just have a camera with a tiny computer chip that can do all that
it
stuff.
could be fooled by something else that's red.
Yeah, you're talking about like a direct data link, which I think would be more accurate than...
Yeah, sure. I mean, down the road, as they replace things, like they've replaced most of the street lamps with LEDs now, so because it's more
But
efficient.
how would a car tell the difference between a brake light and a traffic light?
Because it sees it up higher. And it's round and it's not on a car. Like my car.
You're talking to someone who doesn't drive. Just
My car,
remember that,
I was
okay?
curious about it. I was very careful about it, but I got behind a motorcycle and I turned it on and it recognized the motorcycle as a full vehicle. Like just as that small little profile. It said that's a vehicle and it followed it the way it would follow anything else. It didn't just go like right over the top of the dude.
It's only half of a car.
Yeah. Fuck that guy. 2 wheels. Master race, 4 wheels. Let's go.
So how far away do you think we are from a car that I can buy? It doesn't have any buttons.
You're never gonna buy a car. You've been talking about buying a car for like 10 years now.
Self-driving car, right?
I did see an Aston Martin for the first
I don't
time
think
recently.
Teddy will learn how to drive a car, and Teddy's 10.
Why not?
What do you mean?
Because I think there'll be auto drive cars by the time that
No,
Teddy's
I don't think
16.
it'd be that
In
fast.
6
I
years?
think. I think.
Maybe my 2-year-old. I don't think your kid.
So as long as I wait.
No, I mean they'll be there, but they'll be more expensive. Our family's way rich. We're so much richer than yours, John.
Hey, he's not wrong. He's not.
I do have one asshole statement to John while we're here.
When is Teddy 16?
He's 10 now. So do you want to do the math on that?
6 years.
Do you want,
So all
John,
I have to do is wait.
how long have you known
didn't
Teddy?
hear
How long have we known Teddy?
I can wait another 6 years.
Yeah, 6 years I think is like. Listen, I think once technology kind of like gets its foot, there are self-driving trucks in Europe right now, like 18-wheelers. Those are the things that they have driving themselves right now. Are those?
That's
things.
terrifying.
That's pretty fucking terrifying.
Wait, how long until the first sci-fi horror film about self-driving cars?
It'd be like Jewel again.
What?
The Spielberg movie. What was
Jewel?
it called?
Oh, Duel.
What did I say?
Jewel. I thought you said Jewel.
Oh yeah, that's
You
how
did
I
say Jewel.
That's how I pronounce that word.
Did you say Jewel? Yeah. With a J?
That's what it sounded like.
Wait, say-
I thought you were
say
talking
Jewel
about like
and
the
say
pop
Duel.
Where
artist.
two people are dueling.
Duel. Yeah, Duel.
They're
Well, how do
dueling.
you say what a
They're
diamond is?
dueling.
What kind of? That's a.
A geocarude. What was that thing? Damn it, couldn't remember it.
Gula Red.
Gula Red.
But I think what'll happen is I think they'll become more advanced and people will get more used to it. It's like smartphones. It's like when they introduce a smartphone, it's like I don't want a fucking PDA. I've already had a PDA. It's the dumbest thing ever. Then you get one, and then it's like the most important thing in your life. So I think and it goes so fast. What?
What's PDA?
Really?
You don't know what a PDA? You don't know what a PDA is?
No.
A PDA is like a
That's like the predecessor of a smartphone.
yeah, a
Look at my
personal
calendar.
data assistant. Is that what PDA stands for? It's like a
Personal
Palm Pilot.
Palm Pilot.
Or a personal
Yeah.
digital assistant.
And
My
when I
parents
first
had a Palm Pilot.
when I first heard about a smartphone, I was like, I don't know.
Well, it's like
that
when they put the camera on the phones, and I'm like, why do I need a camera on my phone? I mean, I have a camera. Why would I need it on my phone? And I
Yeah.
was like,
You know, it was like that for me. MMS messaging when the iPhone didn't have it. If you went back to the original iPhone, like the iPhone 1 or 2, you couldn't cut and paste.
that was awesome.
You couldn't send MMS messages. iMessage didn't exist.
You couldn't take video.
Yeah, and when they talked about MMS coming, I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking use that. When would I ever send like files or pictures to people? Now that's all that I do. I don't even respond to people. I just send pictures to them, and that's it. Like
emoji.
dick pics and things
Yeah,
like that.
emojis.
Yeah,
One I saw.
yeah.
Scar
She was impressed. She was impressed.
Yeah.
Let's
Oh.
for the record. Oh, hey.
I don't know if that's impressed as much as like her discovering one for like the first. Oh, that's what they are.
I just want to say though, all the people posting videos and all the radio stations talking about the Tesla, like some guy made a big deal about that he got the first auto drive speeding ticket, that his car took him faster.
Even though you manually set the speed.
It's just like I mean, at that point, it's like a guy that can't work cruise control. That's what that guy is. That guy's a fucking idiot driving around in that car.
So why are there so many? You think like the owner of a Tesla going to be probably a smart, successful dude because he can afford a Tesla? They're all idiots.
Money doesn't equal intelligence, though.
Kinda
always.
does.
Mostly,
Not
it does.
always.
Kind of does. No. Did you read this thing about Donald
Paris
Trump where he
Hilton.
said that his dad gave him $1 million
saw that.
loan? A small loan.
Small loan.
Small loan.
Yeah.
$1 million.
And he had to pay it back with interest, so let's be fair.
Oh, come on. There's no way Donald Trump's dad's still alive, right?
I don't know.
So what happened to all that money
Someone
when his
look it
dad died? I'm sure it went to Donald Trump, right?
Right.
So there's like other people.
Right, but also he also follows up that statement saying like got a small loan of $1 million, bought property. Oh, okay, so you made the money back, you're fine.
So just talking about Donald Trump, does that now count as a politics conversation?
What's that? Yeah. Donald Trump is, I guess he's a political figure. I mean, he's the leading candidate right now, right? For the Republican Party?
Is he really?
I think he really is. Isn't
God.
he?
So many people are going to leave the country.
Well,
No,
his
and
monitor
people
so
say
dim?
that. People say that every fucking time we have a new president. It's like, oh, if this I'm going to Canada, going to go to England or something. It's like,
Does anyone actually do that? Do you
yeah, I mean, some idiots who like fall through for the most part. Or it's like, what are those idiots that were like, we're gonna get divorced if gay marriage is made legal? Did they get divorced?
No. I just like all the people who said they would move to Canada if Obama was elected. And it's like, oh, you're going to go to the country where gay marriage is legal,
Yeah.
where abortion's legal, where all this stuff is legal, free health care, everything you're complaining about.
Yeah. No
They just don't know.
no one's gonna leave if Trump becomes president. No one's gonna go.
Politics.
I might be forced back. We both might be forced back.
Why?
You guys are
I don't know.
immigrants.
Just in case I don't know if we fuck up or do something. Gavin's always worried about
Get
doing
out.
something illegal.
Taking jobs. Get out.
Yeah.
Immigrants. They'll be like,
You gave us these.
I'm not saying it. I'm just saying the government will tell you. Like, hit the bricks, Canuck. Get back to your hockey. By the way, what is the population of Canada? Because last week at the YouTube event, they kept talking about how PewDiePie has more subscribers than the entire population of Canada.
Canada's about 34 million.
No shit. The whole country.
Whole country. There's more people in the state of California than there are in Canada.
There's more people with the El Rey channel in their house. Than,
It's true.
Bring it full circle.
Nice.
That
It's
was
very
awesome,
true.
John.
Oh wait, I do want to point out. You just reminded me. There is one thing you can do in order to make Adam Baird perk up, and that's talk about hockey.
Hockey.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
talked about that stupid dinosaur MMO. He was like, Adam
Oh,
was
Ark,
like,
Ark.
whatever the most
Dinosaur
recent MMO obscure like garbage game. Adam is like level 50 in it.
No,
I just talked about hockey.
Adam was giving me a ride home at one point when I was having car problems, and he got talking about. Oh, I brought up hockey because I saw this clip that they changed the rule about when there's overtime. There's only like 3 guys on the ice on each team, so it's just
it's badass.
insanity.
That's like Nintendo rules.
And so I got him talking about that, and he got so like just avid about it that he missed the exit on the freeway and just kept driving like towards Houston. I was like,
That
where are
sounds
we
like him.
going? And he's like, sorry, I got to talk about hockey.
So if you piss him off enough, will he just keep going in a straight
Where's
line?
he from? Is he?
His family's Canadian.
Oh, his
I
family's
think they're from
Canadian.
Toronto.
I just pointed at Barbara.
Barbara.
Where's he from?
Reference
There.
for Canada.
There.
There's also another Canadian at this office. Joe, he's an animator.
Oh yeah.
Yep, he's like taller guy.
McDonald?
Yep, Joe McDonald.
So is he like Canadian here on a visa or Canadian
I
regular?
think he like has a dual
You are
citizenship.
Canadian regular.
Not worried. I'm just curious.
He's been here for a while, but
You want to see
he's
some
from Canada.
documentation?
Yeah, let's see the papers there before we send you back. And
My Uber driver today was British, which I've never seen before.
really taking jobs. There we go.
There you
See?
go.
Taking jobs from people, nice Uber drivers. So Gavin, you played You played Halo 5 this last week.
I actually played it a couple of weeks ago.
By the time people have
Brag about it.
this podcast is released publicly, Halo 5 will have been out for a couple days. But if they're watching it as a sponsor, it comes out tonight.
It
Oh my god.
is an enjoyable game.
I had a great time playing Halo 5.
It feels very Halo, and I've said this before to other people. The meatiest Halo game they've ever made.
just chunky,
It's just like impact,
solid.
Spartan charge, and ground pounds, and everything sounds like weighty.
Was
and
it
like,
full of gack?
No gack.
Just gook? What was the other word you said?
Nope.
Definitely not.
Nope.
It's not going to talk any spoilers because people haven't seen it, but the multiplayer is fantastic. There's been a little bit of back and forth about the story in the campaign.
Well, it is the middle story
It is the middle
of a
story
trilogy, which
in a
we already
trilogy.
knew.
Which, yeah, they did tell us there was going to be a 3-part trilogy, as trilogies tend to be.
Yeah. So honestly,
it's going to be
You
Halo
learn
4.
so much here. You learn so much.
Halo
I was
4 to 6.
expecting a very Halo 2-esque end to the story,
Go ahead.
and because I was expecting it, I wasn't annoyed by it.
Halo, I thought that this was a way better middle story than Halo 2. And I really liked Halo 2, but I think that this is a better game and a better story than Halo 2. I actually liked where they were going with the story. It's very, once people see the story, they'll get what I liked about it. There's certain aspects of the Halo universe that were really well handled.
There was also a lot of Halo lore that was finally shown for the first time. You'll see, I'm not going to spoil stuff, but like stuff happens that you've heard about happening, and you see it happening. It's like, that was cool.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
A little foreshadowing.
Not really a spoiler.
So-
It's
No,
not
it
like a
wasn't.
So, barring kind of review, Halo, should people buy it?
big fat thumbs up.
Yeah, great
from
game.
Gavin.
Really great. Jeff and Gus are in Seattle for the Halo 5 live stream. So after this, you can go see. You can see Gus and Jeff in their Halo Celebrity Tournament, which challenges both the word celebrity. And tournament. So that should be really. They're gonna get destroyed, I'm sure.
We're actually going to be releasing the entire campaign in Let's Play form, 4-player co-op from beginning to end. Every
Starting when?
day, starting today.
So there's been something that happened there at 343 too in the last few years that is like they're hiring like ex-MLG like ringers that work there. So when you end up playing people now that work at 343, they're actually like unbelievably good at the game. They
Why
got
are they
this
doing
guy like Andy Dudinsky, or I don't know how you say his last name. He's an old MLG guy. He fucking destroys at Halo. Yeah. Like they had an event here for RTX last year, and it was awful. It was the worst experience I've ever had playing Halo. I got the shit kicked out of me.
Why would you hire someone to do that when like you're like showing people like a game that you want them to buy?
Because you want people to be good at it. Also, these are people that are super passionate about Halo because they played Halo at a professional
It'll
level.
be challenging.
Yeah, bring those fuckers in. Hey, what should we do for the podcast Let's Play this week? Because I'm supposed to organize
Are you
it.
coordinating?
Do you want to play Counter-Strike?
No, I want to play the bomb game.
Oh, you want to play Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes?
That one.
You really want to play that?
Yeah.
I wanted the kids want to play that for game kids too.
I want to see how good you are under pressure. It's a lot of pressure.
I really want to play more speedrunners.
Can we play in the Achievement Hunter office? Because we don't have a VR setup anywhere else.
You don't need VR, but absolutely.
Okay.
Would you want him doing the instructions or him defusing the bomb?
We should rotate.
I'll rotate with you.
Yeah.
Oh, we should provide some tips for those who haven't played Halo 5. They teach you how to do a Spartan charge, which is sprint, and then you hold down melee. And you kind of jetpack and smack stuff. They don't teach you how to ground pound.
I didn't know the entire game that you could ground pound. Which I saw it in the cinematic.
For that, you jump up in the air and you hold down melee, and you kind of charge a spot. You can aim where it goes, and then you go.
I would have had a lot of fun doing that. If
Very
only the game
fun.
had told me that exists.
Whenever you have the high ground on an enemy, just ground pound them. It's amazing. Also, you can jump up in the air, look down the sight, and you hover mid-air.
Did you use a lot of the iron sight stuff, the left trigger sights?
Yeah, all the time. I
yeah.
played it exactly like I play Destiny.
I could.
You mean like
I used it all the time.
in Call of Duty?
Yeah.
When you do that?
Yeah, we can bring in the sights. But let me ask you this. Did it seem like the zoom on all the weapons has now been nerfed as a result of that?
In terms of distance?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like they pulled it back?
Yeah, like you can't zoom in nearly as far. Like the sniper rifle doesn't zoom in nearly as far as it used to.
Have you clicked in the stick to zoom in again?
I have tried to do that. Does that work?
Yep.
It didn't work for me.
You click in...
Maybe I tried it with the binary rifle and it didn't work.
You click in the left or right stick.
Left stick?
And it zooms in again. And you're like, oh, this is a sniper.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, it's just...
Maybe I was just clicking right stick because that's what I'm used to. But is it left stick?
It's something weird, I think.
Well, another thing we got last week that was really fucking awesome, which is a definite buy if you can afford it. And it's ridiculously priced. But the Xbox Elite controller is fucking amazing.
Michael had one.
They sent us like 10.
Yeah, we got them.
They're heavy.
They're awesome. They're like metal. They're awesome.
Are they all in the Achievement Hunter office? Mm-hmm. Oh, I should check it out.
I wasn't intending on buying one. But then
I
got one at work and I was holding it and I totally want one now. Like you can also set...
We never get anything, by the way, and they sent us like 10 of these things.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And there's like the hair trigger function where you can make it so the trigger only needs to be pushed about halfway.
There's like a little lock on the bottom.
And it like mechanically stops. It's not like it just triggers the game earlier. It's like... So what I do, I keep my left trigger soft for looking down the sight because I want to squeeze that in. Like nice and squidgy.
Yeah.
And then the trigger is like... So with weapons like the pistol and the carbine, it's like... You can be really fast shooting it.
Tear it up.
And it's also paddles on the back, which I haven't messed with yet.
I removed mine.
You can take them off. So
You could remove the paddles?
You can remove everything. You remove the thumbsticks and replace it with other thumbsticks, and it's like held in place. It's very easy
all
to do.
magnet.
It's all magnets. Yeah.
yeah.
That
all
is
magnets.
cool.
If you can get your hands on one just to mess with it, I
Just
recommend
cornflakes.
It's really.
Yeah, because like the D-pad has that circular version.
Yeah, it's
but
like
you
a
can like
disc.
take it out and put in
Yeah.
conventional 4-directional one.
Or you can take it off and just play on like the underneath bit.
Right,
which
it's
feels
still
weird.
it's still there.
People want us to play Counter-Strike. According to Twitter, they're saying it's either Counter-Strike.
Wait, do you want
or
Counter-Strike or like CS:GO?
Contagion? Oh, CS:GO.
More
you go.
Contagion?
We play the gun game. I think would probably be the arms race. Is that what it's called?
Oh, the one that you have to go through all the guns.
You
I
go through all
love
the
that
weapons. I would like to play that with people on the podcast crew because I've never, ever fucking won a round of that. I have probably played 100 rounds of arms race, and I've never even gotten to like the top 3 guns.
You ever gotten to like the knife?
God, at this point in my life, I'm just, if I pull like a 1 kill death ratio, like I'm even, I'm ecstatic. My skills have just dropped
Oh,
off.
you mean like 1-to-1?
Yeah. I just want as many deaths as I have kills.
You used to be good at Halo 2.
I did, but I don't play as much games as I used to.
You used to quit when we were losing.
I did. I would be like, fuck you.
Because you were good and we were all bad. I just stayed the same level of bad, and you also joined me.
So, like, what's your kill death ratio?
In Halo 2?
Sure.
I remember that the last time I looked, I had 20,000 kills and 25,000 deaths.
Is that what it was? So you're a little bit under.
Yeah.
Mine was crazy. Mine was like 25,010 kills and 25,000 deaths. It was like across like 50,000 kills and deaths. I was off like
10
10
kills apart?
I was like that close to like 1 to 1.
Wow.
Yeah. It was something. I think you told me at the time. Actually, you knew that. You said you should get in there and like just die 10 times, and then like you'll be dead
it out.
even.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things online. Have you ever seen the clip that somebody posted of Futurama? That's the neutral planet.
I have no feelings one way or the other.
I have no strong feelings one way or the other. Have you ever seen that?
Nope.
It's like some guy, he's from the neutral planet and they're voting. And the guy, he's all dressed in gray and he's this bland character. He says that. He stands out, I'm from the neutral planet and we have no strong opinions one way or the other. But the funny thing about that video is it's just that like 7-second clip, but the upvotes or the likes and dislikes for it are like at 100,000, but they're dead even. And like,
I think it's at like 500,000
is
at this
it?
point.
So, like,
will
everyone's in on the
fight.
joke.
There's a community
everybody is, like,
dedicated to
fighting to
keeping
make
it even.
Keeping it in the balance.
Yeah.
Someone get a screenshot. I'm curious what that is. What that is at this point.
I'll look it
That's
up right
so
now.
Neutral-
funny. That's really funny. Like, you couldn't write that. It
Well,
just
you
happened.
could. You actually could.
Yeah, but you could now because it happened. But how would you come up with that?
I don't know. Coding, robots.
Feelings one way or the other.
All right. It is at 269,079 likes and 269,079 dislikes.
No.
Have you voted?
I don't know if I have voted.
Give it a vote.
I can't. It's been balanced. I don't want to fuck with it.
Do it.
Well, if you
Do
do
it.
it, I'm sure there's someone watching it right now, ready to.
I'm gonna do it right now.
You should do it. See, that's the kind of thing. It's like some people would see that
do
and
it
not
the
want to mess with
opposite.
that. That's the kind of person I am. Other people see it and they have to mess it up.
Yeah.
They
Well,
have
it's
to
like
throw
when
it out.
Ricky Gervais tweeted, "If nobody retweets this tweet, I'll give $50,000 to charity."
4 times
Yeah.
and increased the amount to an insane amount of like money
Everyone
for charity.
retweeted it. It's just
It's always somebody.
It
who's
was a
gonna fuck
great
it up.
social experiment of like why it's almost like this is why we can't have nice things.
in anonymity, nothing good will ever happen.
Oh man.
Wow, it's crazy.
But if there's people in a room and he said, if anyone objects to this 50 grand I'm going to give, raise your hand. Nobody would do it.
Nobody would do it. You're right.
Or maybe they would. You just have to be a real prick, like a prick in a 90s movie.
That's my favorite thing right now to do is because people's like through their like anonymity or even just like behind the guise of like a username or an avatar, they'll say whatever they want. And I love going to like YouTube videos where I'm in or something like that and finding those people and then striking up a conversation with them. It's fantastic because most of them like completely make a Yui. Because once you confront them with like most of them just be like, okay, I was just kidding.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's because they're just,
the confidence is so weak.
it's just they're mainly just really young kids.
Yeah.
Probably like 12 or 13.
That is the problem with the anonymous environment online is that you just don't know what age anybody is.
Yeah.
It's like you don't realize I'm arguing with an 11-year-old.
Yeah,
maybe.
Bernie's
Or like
86.
a flock of 11-year-olds.
And you don't know that I'm 86.
4 million
because-
views.
Yeah, on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even monetized either.
All right,
Just-
I'm disliking it.
all right, go
Oh.
for it.
There you go.
I gotta go like it.
Okay, well, I
wanna
think it's
keep it
about
good.
time to wrap it up. Is there anything else that anyone else would like to cover before we finish out today?
That was pretty cool earlier when Robert Rodriguez was here.
It was. It got significantly less cool when John got in the seat.
That's always the
It was
case.
Hey! Yeah, we start strong and finish weak.
Yeah.
That's the
Should we-
that's the Rooster Teeth podcast.
Should we say what Gus always says is watch Sports Ball tomorrow at 5 o'clock, Patch Wednesday. No, Sports Ball 5 o'clock, Patch Wednesday 4 o'clock, on the spot at 5 o'clock
There you go.
on Thursday.
Also, the other thing that Gus always says, which is, I hate everything and people especially. All right, we want to thank our special guest, Mr. Robert Rodriguez. If you want to follow him, please follow him on Twitter at Rodriguez. And I also want to give a very special shout out. We made a huge change today at the company. We made a big staffing change where we have a new member of our executive management team. Mr. Gavin Free is now the creative director of Rooster Teeth. I talked a lot about that in the vlog. Hey, congrats to Gavin.
Thank you very much for the lovely promotion.
Yes, and we have a ton of work in front of us. So.
Yeah. I got promoted in a job that I didn't think it was possible to get a promotion at, which is nice.
Well, now you can promote other people.
Yeah.
All right, we want to thank everybody for watching the Rooster Teeth podcast. We want to thank our sponsors, Casper and Squarespace, and we will see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye, love you.
Bye-bye.
This week, Rooster Teeth podcast featuring the great Gus Cirola, Gus Cirola, Gus Cirola, Gus Cirola, and Gus.
Listen, Gus.
What?
Gus.
What?
Gus.
What? I'm awesome.
Yeah. Hi, Gus.
Meh.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Oh, shit.
What's that? Oh. What's that? Ooh.
Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, check this out. Thanks for watching, everyone. Good night.
Yeah, so fucking stupid.